well, I mean, other than Once a Day, which I'm sure was pretty memorable to record, what do you think is maybe the other most memorable record that you've ever recorded?
Well, a great event. I got to record 4 songs in French that I learned phonetically. I recorded Once a Day in French, matter of fact.
Passe
and a song that Justin Tubb wrote called Love Is No Excuse. And then a couple of French songs. That one was called The Day and the Night, and the other one I can't remember. But I did those. That was a great time. But I just loved recording. So any recording event was great for me because I looked forward to it so much. So I've got about 50 albums, and we used to cut 3 albums a year and a single every 3 months, and 12 songs to the album. So I did a lot of recording.
Well, I have most of your albums, just about all of them, but I also own the Bear box set, too, and I remember the picture of you wearing the French hats and the scarves from in the box set. Pretty neat.
It was fun.
And between 1965 and 1966, you had 3 #1 Billboard country albums.
Did I?
Yeah, Connie Smith, you did. Connie Smith, Cute and Country, and Born to Sing.
Well, I knew that Connie Smith had gone to #1, but I didn't realize the other 2 had.
And, well, one of my favorite albums, and I've heard Marty speak about this before, is Miss Smith Goes to Nashville. There's just
pretty good picture on the cover, ain't it, Paul?
Of course, I've got it right up in my room there on my wall with some of my other favorite records.
Me too.
I believe you said it was like having your own Mona Lisa right there in your room.
That's right.
And, of course, you were a huge Connie Smith fan growing up as a kid, Marty, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. And I just loved the sound of her voice. It touched my heart. And I just thought, as you said, looking at that picture on that album cover, that made that voice even sound that much sweeter, how pretty she was.
Oh, sure. And,
thank you, babe.
you and Connie and... Connie, you and Marty met, actually, back in, what was it, 1970, around then?
Yeah, July of 1970. She came to my hometown to play a little fair of the Choctaw Indian tribe. Her producer, Bob Ferguson, had kind of become enamored with the Choctaw Indian culture. And he had gone down there, at that time, part-time, to kind of help out with some communication efforts with the tribe.
Sure.
And one of the benefits to having Bob work at the or work around with the tribe is he would bring his acts, some of his acts that he produced on RCA Victor, down for the Saturday night of the Choctaw Indian Fair. So that particular Saturday night, Miss Connie Smith was the big star from Nashville that came.
And rumor has it that you asked your mom to buy you a bright yellow shirt so Connie would notice you during the performance. And
it's true.
I've seen the picture. You are wearing the bright yellow shirt, and was that your sister in the picture with you, Marty?
Sister Jennifer, yeah.
And great picture, and
my mama took that picture.
and Connie, you probably remember meeting Marty back then, don't you?
I do remember it because he was so bold, and he just was. He would come up on stage, and I remember him talking to my steel guitar player, Weldon Myrick, that was down there that day.
Good old Weldon.
And he was just talking with the knowledge that I just couldn't believe that a 12-year-old boy could know all those things. And so I do remember meeting him that day.
And
I was eat up with country music, Paul, kind of like you are.
Oh, well, I just can't get enough of it, the traditional country music and the history of it.
And we appreciate you talking about us so much, but I think I can speak on behalf of Connie.
That's
it
right.
Encourages us for a fella in your position, your age, to take hold and find interest in I'm sure you like all kinds of music, but I know where your heart lies, and that's in the traditional country music and the roots end of country music, and that encourages all of us. Last night we went to a great ceremony at the Country Music Hall of Fame where Pop Stoneman was awarded a medal after all these years.
Oh, and Emmy Lou, too,
Emmy
right?
Lou, and you know, people like Jimmy Dickens and Earl Scruggs and
Charlie Louvin.
Charlie Louvin. Lots of the old timers were there, and I bet you every one of them would applaud you for all your efforts that you do to keep the roots end of country music alive.
Well, thank you.
I know Connie and I do.
I really appreciate it. That means so much to me coming from both of you. And well, speaking of the history of country music, and you mind if we talk about the Grand Ole Opry a little bit?
Sure.
One of my favorite subjects.
Well, mine too. It's well, the Opry is first of all a wonderful place, and I know I had Jeannie Seeley on here a couple of weeks ago, and we were encouraging anyone who could to come down and visit the Opry. And you, Connie, and Marty, you perform regular on the Opry, and it's just a great show there. But Connie, I guess I'll ask you first. What year did you first join the Opry?
I joined in 1965, the same year and the same time, the very night that Bob Luman joined. We both joined the same night.
And, well, I guess you want to tell me a little bit about the first time you ever performed on the Opry stage?
Oh, yeah, I remember it because I was 5 years old. I really distinctly remember saying, someday I'm going to sing on the Grand Ole Opry, but I don't think I really believed that would happen. And that first night that I got to sing on the Opry, I was so scared. I'd always heard this saying about somebody, they're so scared their knees were knocking, and I thought that was just a saying, but that's how scared I was. My knees were hitting together. I had no control over my voice, and as soon as I finished my song and went off stage, I just busted out crying. It was just a very emotional experience for me.
It sure is very magical. I remember when Mr. Vince brought me out on the stage to sing with him. I just couldn't believe it. I was as nervous as I don't know what, and I just looked right out there and stared at one of the spotlights, and did Out Behind the Barn, and Mr. Dickens' song. And
you did a fine job too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That was one of the highlights of my life.
Well, you did a fine job.
Thank you, and I believe that was the first night that I had ever met you and Connie, Marty, and it was just
I believe that's right.
Great experience.
How much did Vince charge you to get you out there?
Yeah, I played for free. The best way to do it. And
when you love it like we love it, you do play it for free, and if you do happen to get paid, that's a bonus, because that's not what's on your mind.
Sure.
Your mind is on the music.
It sure is. And Marty, you want to tell us the first time you played the Opry? I imagine it was with Lester Flatt,
it was
probably.
With Lester, a couple of weeks after I came to Nashville for that visit. He went ahead and put me on the Opry, and I encored the song. Me and Roland sang a song called Love Come Home. And the crowd just kept cheering, just kept on cheering after I was through with the song. We were through with the song.
So did you do an encore?
I thought I had done something wrong, and I asked Lester, I said, what did I do? He said, do it again.
And, but you were inducted into the Opry in
1992.
1992. Do you remember who inducted you?
I think it was Mr. Hank Snow, wasn't it?
And I believe so. I don't have that specifically right down in front of me, but I think I remember seeing a picture of you and Hank on the stage from then. And Connie, who inducted you into the Opry?
I don't remember.
Probably one of the old timers.
George Washington.
Oh, no.
It was not. It was Abraham Lincoln.